Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today in our group, we'll present the difference of Islamic scholars' view in price determination. Okay, before we go to the presentation, I would like to introduce our group members first. Okay, first it is Amirul Ashraf bin Muhammad Noor, and the second is Ahmad Farhan bin Muhammad Fazli, and the last is me, Muhammad Afiq Fitri bin Muhammad Azizi. Before we start, I would like to talk about the content that we will present today. Okay, first we will present the definition of the price and price determination, and the second we will present about the method of the price determination, and the third is the main our topic. It is the difference of Islamic scholars' view in price determination, and the last, we will discuss the current issues. Price is the amount of money charged for a given product or service. Basically, price is the exchange value that is placed for the purpose of giving value to a goods or service. Okay, pricing is the set value of product in the market and must be paid by the consumer with the money if the consumer choose to buy the products. Okay, price is also the sum of all the value that consumer exchange for the benefit using a product or service. Price is only element marketing means the generate revenue, while all the others element are cost. Price is one most flexible element in marketing mix because it is easy to adjust according to market fits. From Anas bin Malik said, at one time the price of good went up the day of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So the people began to complain to the Prophet saying, Ya Rasulullah, the price of goods is now expensive. Then set a price for us. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, verily, it is Allah who determines the price of the goods. He is the narrower and broader, and He is the best of the givers. Riwayat Abu Dawud. From this hadith, we know that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam never set the price because fixing the price is wrong in Islam, and it can be haram. This is because people will feel overwhelmed and suffered. The price of goods can be low and high depend on country and world economic conditions. Okay, next we go to the definition of price determination. Okay, determination of price mean to determine the cost of goods sold and service rendered in the free market. In a free market, the force of demand and supplies determine the price. The government does not interfere in the determination of the price. However, in some cases, the government may intervene in determination the price. For the example, the government has fixed the minimum ceiling price for the wheat. There are two types of price determination in fiqh. In the first category, the natural factor determine the price. Allah is increasing and decreasing the price of the products. There can be no question or debate about the kind of the price determinations, for it is Allah who divide the livelihood, that we call rizki, among the people. The government, however, set the price of goods and service in certain case for the public interest. The government price determination is debatable and subject to others' condition. All Muslim scholars are anonymous on the issue that what price control mean is the government action for price determination that should be achieved by the head of state regulating the economy, and the price determination action is in the general interest for administration of justice.
So we're going next to the method of price determination. There are a few methods here. So you guys can see at the slides. So firstly is demand-based pricing. So demand-based pricing refers to a pricing method in which the price of a product is finalized according to its demand. If the demand of product is more, an organization or seller prefers to set a higher price for products to gain more profit. Whereas if the demand of a product is less, the low price are charged to attract the customer. So this point I think you guys can clearly understand. So we're going to the next. The second is competition based pricing. Competition-based pricing refers to a method in which an organization considers the price of competitors' product to set the price of its own products. So the organization may charge higher, lower, or even equal price as compared to the price of its competitors. So for the example, Afiq sell the fried rice at the college Perindu for example. So Aisha want to sell the same product as Afiq too. So Aisha will look the situation and ask himself, do I need to put the do I need to set up the price higher than Afiq or lower than Afiq? So this is clearly the example. Ashraf will set the price lower than Afiq because we know that uh, for the students the lower the price, the more will student will buy. Okay. So next we're going to the next point is bullying is prohibited. So Islam emphasizes justice and equality. It confirms to one of the attributes of the Almighty God. If we look closely and investigate the laws of Allah, the Sharia, we will find that there are many Islamic values. That is why Islam prohibits dictatorship. In truth, even when committed by others, the God refrains from encouraging or supporting wrongdoings. As far as pricing methods are concerned, there are no references to the Quran and Hadith that specifically touch upon it. However, we should apply generation guideline based upon concept of upholding justice and opposing injustice. So next is Ibn Taymiyyah. Ibn Taymiyyah also has introduced certain price control requirement. So firstly, if the price control prohibits people to buy things, it is totally not permitted. For the example, if the seller set up the price too high that nobody wants to buy, this is not permitted at all. As I mentioned earlier, Islam emphasizes justice for all. So the next requirement is if the price control will set up to ease the administration or government, it is permitted, or even I can say it is compulsory. But this is limited only for certain circumstances and situation. For the example, based on our situation right now during this pandemic, government of Malaysia implement the price control to certain goods such as daily needs.
Alright, now we go to the difference of Islamic scholars' view in price determinations. First, we have Ibn Qayyim. Ibn Qayyim expressed the reality of price control in these words, that is for establishing justice and refraining from injustice, and it includes pricing of goods and service. Secondly, we have Ibn Taymiyyah. Ibn Taymiyyah defines it as determination of price by the government or its deputies, and the buyer and seller are not allowed to increase and decrease the food price and other items which are required by the people. taking into account the right of the parties which just in the public interest. He defines that it is a compulsion on the pupil by the head of state that they are forbidden from increasing and decreasing the fixed price. All these definitions collectively prove that price fictions come under al-siyasah al-syari'ah, which is the Islamic political economy, and it is the authority or right of the government or its deputy to implement it. The head of the state can control the price of the commodities when the public interest demands its implementation. It should always be subject to public interest and necessity. Alright. Thirdly, we have Imam Ghazali and Ibn Khaldun. Imam Ghazali and Ibn Khaldun has discussed the same view on these issues, which is profiteering and monopolies are also illegal. Speculative business which restrain the sale of the demand goods to increase the stock are prohibited by the Holy Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. There are penalties for this illegal practice. However, there are some exemptions to this principle. For example, farmers can retain their produce and sell them whenever they want. Craftsmen are free to select the time to sell their goods. This exception throw light on the point that profiteering is closely related to that if persons store goods in excess of demand for selling. Producers are discouraged to engage in storing goods. There are certain penalties on this practice. The aim of sections is to mainly price stability by bringing hoarded goods into markets. The purpose is to restrain the chain between producer and consumer and to enable consumer to buy goods. The system is established to avoid broker.
So next, we are going to the current issues. There are three current issues that we put in the slide. So the first is the price control by the government of Malaysia. So Kementerian Perdagangan Dalam Negeri dan Hal Ehwal Pengguna has implemented the maximum price control scheme as a measure to curb rising price of essential goods during the implementation of the third phase of the MCO. This action was taken following the action of some sellers who raised commodity price at their own expense and therefore force people to buy them with higher price. And then how the government action according to the view of the scholars, whether or not it was permitted. So that there is essentially an agreement from the four mazhab which states that a commodity price control is prohibited in Islam. In this case, the Hanafi Fuqaha has allowed government interference in price fixing. On the legal side, the new price restriction implemented by the Malaysian government are allowed to protect consumers' interest from violation by the irresponsible parties. Although the hadith prohibits pricing, but the masalih musalah, which is the preservation of happiness, is stated in the hadith, this is permitted. So we go into the second current issue, which is the profit limit in Islam. Our commodity today often ask how the profit limit can be taken by the seller. In Islam, there is absolutely no limit to a seller profiting from their sales. There are no fixed rules in Islam about profit as long as do not violate the rights of others, since Islam emphasizes the principle of justice for all the humankind. In 2018, this issue was answered by the Mufti Wilayah Persekutuan. In Islam, there is no clear limit to profit. But when it comes to cheating, other unfair treatment, and unfair necessities cost on behalf of the disease. Fit address khiyar's right for the customer. So the third current issues that we're going to talk today is the fall of world oil price during the COVID-19 pandemic crisis has impacted international oil market price. The fall in oil price was due for a lack of market demand, but a shortage of supply contributed to the loss of oil reserves. Hence, oil price are falling due to oversupply. The fall of oil price explain the economic theory, which are the higher the demand, the higher the supply. But if the demand is decreased and the supply is still remain the same, then the crisis of market price will fall too. This is happen due to oversupply. Senior professor from Economic and Management Faculty, University Malaysia Sarawak, Professor Dr. Shazali Abu Mansur said, the fall in oil price may be good for consumers, but for the government impact is the opposite, as it will further reduce government income. Kenanga Research said the issue of lower oil price was extremely important because it posed a huge risk to the export and fiscal outcomes of Malaysia, and may even restrict the ability of government to recover the economy. To conclude, for all the current issues I mentioned just now, clearly the pandemic COVID-19 really affected the whole world, the whole economic system around the world.
Okay, now we go to the conclusion. Price fixation is divided into two types. One is based on injustice, which is forbidden, and the other is based on justice, which is obligatory. When price increase due to the law of demands and supply without an act of traders, they are doing the business in good manners and according to customary practice without injustice. In this situation, price fixation is injustice and it is haram unanimously. But when price increase due to the perpetration of traders, they adopt the illegal ways for it and hoard the products and harm the people by their action, and it is mandatory for state to force them to sell on the market price, and it is obligatory upon the state. And this view has been chosen by Ibn Taymiyyah and his student Ibn Qayyim also. The Prophet's refusal for price fixation is when rise in price was just and according to normal business transactions. But if people involved in wrong practice and encroaching the wealth of others and put them in problem, then price fixation is compulsory. Ibn Qayyim said, the state has right to interfere in price fixation when traders are united to harm the people and increase the price, and the public interest demand price fixation, because it is the duty of the state to supervise the economic system for the public according to their needs. It is concluded that Islam lays down clear principles for all matters relating to our everyday life. The issue of price fixation is dealt with in detail by the Muslim jurists and scholars. Based upon evidence from the Quran and Sunnah, the Holy Nabi Muhammad SAW prohibited price fixation, and the majority of the scholars agree on this principle. But in the case of injustice being done to public by hoarders, the businessman, the government can intervene to fix the price of commodities for the welfare of the people and to safeguard of the public interest. Those who advocate price fixation, they are also base their opinion on the principle of safeguarding the people interest. That's all from us. Thank you.